I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but I've got to talk about it, and that's just, it is what it is. I might be separating from my partner. I also have fallen in love with somebody else while being in love with my partner. However, that is not the reason that we might be separating. Full disclosure, just because my partner is aware of this doesn't mean that I didn't fuck up. I did fuck up. A lot of shit that's happening right now is because of my fuck ups, but I want to be completely honest about it. I have to be, in order for this to mean something to help anybody else. The reason that we might be separating is because I've discovered that I am polyamorous and my partner might not be. We have been in an ethically non-monogamous relationship for the last year. We both have been exploring our sexuality, and I won't speak on his behalf, but for me, I realized that I am not interested in randomly hooking up with people and then that being it. I'm not interested in having like a friends with benefits. I discovered that I'm interested in connecting with people in a romantic way, perhaps is as another partner, but as a separate partner, or even as a kind of non-labeled situation where there is love and there is connection, and not necessarily an involvement in my everyday life, but the access to that love and the possibility of that love and the presence of that love is there. This is something that my partner and I are working through right now. I don't know which way it's going to go. I don't know how it's going to end, but I wanted to bring it to the internet because what better place to bring such a judge-worthy topic to? Just full disclosure, like, he is fully aware of what is happening. We're having conversations about it. We've been going to a marriage counselor, psychologist for a while. What ultimately comes down to is that you can't force somebody to be polyamorous. You can't force somebody to be non-monogamous. It's just a part of who you are. Because I got married, well, I got with him when I was 18 and he was 25. The age discrepancy there means that as I get older, I'm going to go through changes, which he's been a wonderful supporter of. He's been a great supporter of my career as an entrepreneur, as an artist, as somebody who's more than just a mother, to have my own friends, my own life. And in many, many ways, he's the partner that people would wish for. He is the partner that I would wish for and that I do want to keep. I don't want to lose him as a partner. Ultimately, it comes down to, as I've gotten older, I'm going to be 29 next month, I have discovered this part of myself, and it almost feels like a non-negotiable to be who I am. I don't want to lose my partner over it. I love my partner in almost all ways. He's the perfect partner, but nobody is perfect. Obviously, there's always room for connection, and that's, you know, when you have friends, if you have more than one friend, does that mean that you don't love your other friend enough and that's why you need more friends? I love my partner enough to build a form of a happy life. I also love myself enough to be in this position where I'm trying to decide if that is enough. We only get one life. I'm like literally breaking out into hives. We only get one life, and I'm trying to navigate how to handle this in a way that doesn't ask him to change who he is, because I would never ask that. Again, you can't force somebody to be polyamorous. You can't force yourself to be polyamorous. But ultimately, it's like denying your heart, your sexuality even, in my opinion, to be put in this position and decide, can I live without this? And that's what I'm trying to navigate right now. Again, I love my partner. I don't want to lose my partner. But along with this process and this journey, that is a consequence, a potential consequence of what might happen. And I know people are going to judge me for that, because I do have a beautiful family. I do have a beautiful relationship. I have so many things that I'm so lucky to have, and I feel lucky, and that it might seem that I take for granted. But I don't know if it's enough for me if my partner can't live his full happiness. I'm going to make this a series. If you have any questions that I should start out with, even if it's judgment or judgy questions, let me know. I'm ready to talk about it because I'm tired of keeping it in, I guess.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
I don't know if you guys have, heard this quote that says, women sacrifice their family for their happiness, and men sacrifice their happiness for their family. This is true. Real true. And I'm not saying every woman, but I think it's a lot of women that does this. You know, one thing I've learned getting older is that most women do not give a shit. They do what makes them happy and they don't care. I think sometimes men care way too much. It's one of the biggest problems. And I'm not saying every woman is like that, but I think majority of women is like that. As you get older, when you're growing up, your mom is like that first way into a woman's life because she's the one that's going to teach you everything you need to know about a lot of women. But as you get older, you need to delete that shit. Everything your mama ever taught you about a woman, 99% of the time, is bullshit. It is bullshit. Because the things your mom is going to tell you about women is just going to be sweet nothing. Like, she's not going to tell you the real woman. She's not going to tell you that. She's going to tell you because you're the little boy, you're a sweet boy. So she's going to tell you every good part of a woman, but she's not going to tell you the bad part of the woman. So when you get older, you need to delete that shit and learn. I used to say something. You need to get your heart broken by a woman at least one time. Because if you don't get your heart broken one time, you're not going to know a lot about a woman. But if you get your heart broken one time, you're going to learn a lot about a woman. That's just my opinion, though. Listening to a woman like this, I'm just like, you keep saying you're polyamorous, like, but you decide to marry this person. Didn't you know you're polyamorous before you decide to marry this person? You got into marriage with this person. Now you want to get a divorce. You're gonna ruin his life because he's gonna lose a lot of shit. But you're gonna ruin his life just because of your own selfishness. This is why I tell most men, when you're dealing with women, you gotta be very selfish too. And like I said earlier, it ain't every woman. Some women are really nice people. The problem though is it's not a lot of them. It's just like this whole feminism bullshit. The loudest one, there's a lot of them that are just loud. Are there some women out there that are really, they're feminists and, they're very, very subtle and they listen to you? Yeah. But the problem is, those type of feminists, they're not the majority, they're the minority. So it's the same thing. There's some feminists out there that got brains, they'll understand, they'll listen, but okay, you make sense here. And boom, you change your mind. But there are some feminists out there that don't listen to shit. That's how the situation is. Most women are selfish. Very, very selfish. They will ruin good thing for their own happiness. Where you as a man, like, oh, what did I do wrong? Oh, I didn't do nothing. Yes, you did not do nothing. She's just selfish. That's why as a man, you gotta be really selfish too. When you're dealing with a creature called woman, you gotta be very selfish. That's why you see most time women fall for the bad guy. Why do you think women fall for the bad guy? It's because he don't give a shit. He don't care. Whether she's dead or alive, he don't care. Whether she eats today, or she sleeps today, or she's hungry, he don't care. That's why she kept going back. Have you ever observed that every time a woman likes you, and you be like, yo, I don't like you, I don't want to do no, she's not going to stop. And I'm not saying these are healthy women. Of course, these are not healthy women, but there's a majority of them that are like that. Majority. Once you ignore a woman, or you're nonchalant, or you don't give a shit, or you're just slightly bad, she's not going to go anywhere. Because that's the creature they got. They don't give a shit. They do what makes them happy when they want to do it. They don't give a shit. Then I see so many men in marriages, they have sexless marriage. They're not happy, but they're still there. This is why the whole marriage concept in the West is bullshit. That's why the whole marriage thing is declining because of idiots like this. That's why most men is like, I don't want to get married no more. I don't want to get married no more. But you know, the problem is there's always a simp that's going to ruin everything. There's always that one simp that's going to take a chance. Then later he's going to end up on the streets and we're going to feel bad for him. This is why I don't feel bad for a lot of people. This is why I don't feel bad, because you don't know. You see, there's so many men that know what they're getting themselves into and still get themselves into that situation, even with knowing everything. How many times have we heard, don't get in a relationship with a woman with a shitty past because she's going to ruin your future, and yet you're going to see that same woman get married the next day, and after 2 years they break up and people feel bad for the guy. I don't feel bad for people like that. This woman is a bad person. She just don't know it. She said something like, what other place should I take it if it's not the internet? Why the hell would you want to take your marriage and bring it to the internet? What sense does that make? Why do you want to embarrass your husband? This is not your boyfriend. This is your husband. Why the hell would you want to do that? So you want people to understand your husband is a fucking simp. Because, oh, he just let me do whatever the hell I want. He's this. I'm happy with him, but yet I want to go cheat on him. Or yet I love another man, but I'm in a marriage. What sense does that make for you to embarrass your husband? But yet, the reason why we don't know a lot of shit about what goes on in a lot of marriages, most men don't talk about their marriage. The only time you could hear a man talk about their marriage is in a bar. He's drunk, you have a conversation with him, he might tell you, he might not. But women is on social media talking about their marriage every single day. But you rarely hear a man on social media talk about his marriage. This is why every time when you hear about, oh, they got a divorce, the first thing that's going to come to people's mind is, oh, he cheated on her. The reason for that is because all this while when women come on internet and cry about shit, most men don't say shit. It just goes his way. The divorce, it just go do his own thing. But for the first 6 months of that divorce, that woman is gonna be online complaining. And people gonna think she's some angel and shit. And the man is bad and the man is horrible and shit. But because we as a man, we don't talk about this shit. But if most men start coming online and sharing the reason why they get a divorce, you guys are gonna see how horrible a lot of these women is in a marriage. And people don't. My last video, I spoke about sexless marriage, where this woman has not slept with her husband in like 10 years, maybe 5 years, and they're supposedly married. And then when the man cheats, everyone blames him. Oh, he's a bad person. Why did he cheat on his wife? But no one is going to talk about she's not even slept with him. She's not had sex with him in 10 years, maybe 1 year sometimes. But no one talks about that. Or sometimes you see a woman abusing the dude for years. But once he snaps and boom, starts smacking her, people call him bad. These are situations that happen in marriage that most men don't talk about. They just let it go. I wish most men talk about the situation. Y'all gonna see a lot of women are horrible. Horrible, selfish people. Women are very selfish. I'm not saying every woman, but a lot are very, very selfish. They do what they want when they want it, and they don't give a shit how you feel about it. They don't care. I had to learn this shit. I had to. Because initially I was like, oh no, come on. It's just this person. It's just that person. It's just this person. Before you know, you got 10 of women doing the same shit to you. And you're like, what the hell is going on? Because as I was getting older, at a younger age, everything I remember was what my mom taught me. Oh, you gotta be nice and buy flowers and buy chocolate and reply on time and do this and do that. And you're gonna be like, okay, that's what my mama taught me because that was the only thing you knew when you're like 20, 21, 18. Back then. But as I got older now, I realized it was all bullshit. These people are selfish human beings. Very selfish. And she clearly said in the video, I know people are going to think I'm a bad person, but they said, no, you are a bad person. There is no if and but. You are just a bad person. You could have avoided all this shit by not marrying him. You could just say, yo, from the jump of the marriage, I'm polyamorous. If you know you're going to get married with me, this is who I am. This is what I like to do. Are you okay with that? And if you decided to get into it, then we blame him. But you never told him about it. All of a sudden, you're 25 and you say, oh, I'm polyamorous. That shit don't work that way. No one just change all of a sudden and become polyamorous after 5 years of marriage. It don't work like that. You've been like that from the jump. You've been a whore from the jump. You just wanted the marriage so you can put it in your booklet. I got married. I got a ring. And you wasted his time. He's an idiot anyway. He said, oh, every woman is going, no, trust me, no woman is going to want that man. He's a fucking idiot. He's a fucking idiot. But anyway, guys, I don't know if y'all think I'm wrong or something. Let me know what y'all think about in the comment section, man. Please like and subscribe to my channel, man. I'm out of here.